Hey everybody, it's your man Fitman, and welcome to the 13th episode of Motivational Monday. Today's topic, we're talking about the 3 nutritional keys needed to make positive changes to your physique and your performance. Look, last week we talked about the 3 keys needed inside the gym that are going to help you change your body. We talked about the importance of lifting heavier weights. We talked about the importance of performing more reps with those heavier weights. We talked about the importance of performing more work in less time. This makes your body uncomfortable and it forces it to change. But training is only half of the battle. If your nutrition is jacked up, then guess what? You're gonna be going nowhere fast. You're gonna be walking through the mud, very slow, frustrating progress, and I don't want that for you. I want you to unleash your inner greatness, okay? Now, we're gonna start with nutritional key number 1. The first thing that you need to know is that your caloric intake must match your goals. So let's talk about it. If you're thin, if you're skinny, if you're underweight, and your goal is to build muscle mass, and your goal is to get stronger, then guess what? It's not gonna happen if you're under eating. It's not gonna happen if you're eating salads all day and little snacks. Like, you're not going to be able to gain the muscle mass that you want to gain. You have to increase your caloric intake. This was my problem in college. I didn't eat enough food to support my training. I was on the track team, but I started to wonder, why can't I gain more muscle mass? Why can't I gain more strength? Because I didn't have the caloric intake coming in to support my training. If your calories aren't high enough, then you're not going to be able to build the muscle mass if you are someone who is thin, if you are someone who is underweight. And on the flip side, if you're overweight, if you're carrying a lot of body fat, then guess what? You're not going to be able to lose that body fat if you continue to overeat. You're making it impossible for your body to shed the excess weight, to shed the excess fat. Your caloric intake has to match what your goal is. Now, it's deeper than that, because it's not just, well, I'm just gonna drop down all my calories. It doesn't work that way. You've got to find out how much food you're eating today. And that's where these apps like MyFitnessPal come into play. You can track the food you're eating and find out what's going in your mouth today. Once you find that out, it's much easier to create a nutrition plan for you. Because if you're just haphazardly eating, then your results are gonna be haphazard. You've gotta know where you are. I always tell my clients, we have to start where we are. You can plug numbers into a formula, but it's not gonna work if it's too much of an increase or too much of a decrease. We gotta start where you are. We may have to walk your calories up slowly over the course of a couple weeks just to get your body functioning properly. Because if you're under eating or you're overeating, you're out of whack. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that your caloric intake matches your goals. Without it matching your goals, you're gonna struggle badly, whether you're trying to gain muscle mass or lose body fat. But it's not just about calories, because number 2, nutrition fact number 2, the key number 2 is that if your macros are not balanced and set up to allow you to build muscle mass and lose body fat, then you're gonna be spinning your wheels. If you're just eating 2,500 calories a day and it's all carbohydrates, all fats, and very limited protein, then guess what? It ain't gonna happen for you. You're gonna be very frustrated. But if you take that same 2,500 calories and now it's mainly protein with moderate carbohydrates and moderate fats, now guess what? Now your body's gonna start to respond differently. So we take that total amount of calories and we have to break it down by the macro. Now, most people thrive on a higher protein, moderate carb, moderate fat nutritional profile. Obviously, there's people who exist outside these lines. You may be a bodybuilder in the final weeks of pre-contest and you're trying to get leaner. Your carbohydrates might not be 30%. They might be 20%. They might be 15%. I don't know. But what I do know is that the macronutrient profile changes based on what you're trying to do. And it changes based on how you're training that day. You may be performing a high intensity lower body workout that requires more carbs and more calories than it requires for you to train your arms. You're matching up the carbs and the calories to your training days. And your off days, like when you're off, it doesn't require the same amount of food. It doesn't require the same amount of carbs. You're not doing anything. Think about a gas tank. When you try to fill up too much gas, what happens? You spill over. And if you try to jam too many carbs into your body and too much fat in your body and too many calories into your body, then guess what? You spill over. And the result is unsightly body fat. So the macronutrient profiles need to be balanced and they need to be set up to what you are trying to do. Whether you're trying to gain muscle mass or whether you're trying to lose body fat. It's not just about the calories, but the macros matter. They matter. Carbs matter. Protein matters. Fat matters. The macros matter in order for you to maximize your physique. And the third nutritional key that will really increase your performance and your physique is that you have to put a priority on your pre and post workout nutrition. Look, the worst thing I hate hearing is, oh my goodness, I forgot to eat. Or, oh my goodness, I just had a piece of fruit. Like, you can't have a great workout when you don't have enough fuel. You can't train in a hard fashion. You may be able to go to the gym and walk on the treadmill or walk on the elliptical or the Stairmaster or just something that's not very challenging, pump a whole bunch of machines all day. But when you're doing real training and you're doing squats and deadlifts and sprints and pull-ups and dips and hip thrusts and walking barbell lunges, you can't show up with no fuel. You're not gonna make it. You're gonna get KO'd like Glass Joe, okay? Pre and post workout nutrition are very similar. The one change is that the type of carbohydrate that you're consuming. Before you work out, complex carbs work the best. Brown rice, sweet potatoes. Why do they work the best? Because they give you long-lasting energy to get through the sprints, to get through the upper body training session. When you're finished training, we go to simple carbohydrates, jasmine rice, white potatoes. These are the things that will allow you to recover, to replenish your body, to replenish your glycogen, your fuel. And with both meals, you have a source of protein. Now, me personally, I like my dog food, brown or jasmine rice, whether it's pre or post workout, and lean ground turkey or lean ground beef. It's worked for me for years, and I just adjust the amounts based on what I'm doing that day. You've got to master your pre and post workout nutrition. There's nothing more frustrating than having your training session stop early because you can't finish because you don't have the fuel. Because that is 100% in your control. So you've got to be better prepared. Preparation is the key to success, and you want to make sure that you're on top of your pre and post workout nutrition. Implementing these 3 nutritional keys is going to allow you to really bring out your best physique. You can't skimp on them. You've got to focus on them if you're really serious about unleashing your inner greatness. I thank you for checking out the 13th episode of Motivational Monday, and I will check you out next week. It's your man Fitman. Holla at a trainer when you see me in the gym.